Hello and good evening and hello. This is Dr. Faith Abraham. I'm going to share this and let a few people get onto the broadcast tonight, and then we will get started. Hello, when you come in, say hello. And if you're watching and catching this on the replay, just say replay. All right. Okay. So I've shared. All right. And when you get on as well, say hi and say hi and share this video with others. All right. So my name is Dr. Faith Abraham, and today I want to talk about the difference between a therapist, a counselor, and a coach. A therapist, a counselor, and a coach, because oftentimes people like to lump them all together. And furthermore, as a counselor and coach who certifies other counselors and coaches, I like for there to be clarity. I like for there to be understanding, so that way you can know exactly what it is that you're pinpoint what it is that you're trying to do and what you want to do if you're looking to become certified with me and my certification program. But first of all, let me just break it down, because I know a lot of people who follow me are people who have the natural innate gift of a counselor, what we call the spirit of counsel. And so that spirit of counsel causes a lot of people to naturally be drawn to you, to naturally find you, to naturally be comfortable with you and share their whole life from A to Z and everything in between with you. Somebody was saying that the thing about being a counselor is, or having the spirit of counsel on you, is that when people sense it, they immediately come to you and they start tapping into that thing that's on your life. Now, for some situations, that's great, right? But for other situations, like our time or just our headspace where we're at personally, that's not always the best thing, because sometimes you just want to breathe. You don't want to hear somebody else's stuff because you got your own stuff, right? And so a lot of times it's like, I'm glad y'all can see the gift, but I'm tired. I don't want to work the gift right now, okay? But it's okay. That's just to let you know that people see what's on you. They like what's on you. They're tapping into what God has given to you and clothed you with. And so it's your responsibility to use it, and to use it wisely. Now, a lot of times, especially in certain communities, we get talked about and teased about being going to therapy, having a counselor, going to counseling and things of that nature. And of course, I believe that this is really just a strategy and a tactic, and kind of a crab in a barrel mentality, and also a way to keep people bound, keep people broken, keep people unhealed. Because when you're not healed and when you don't work through your past, we all know that it just passes on to other people. Someone said it so beautifully: trauma that's not transformed is transferred. So we transfer it to our kids, we transfer it to relationships, we transfer it to our businesses, we transfer it to our marriages if we happen to get married, and everything else like that. So you have to understand that when you don't deal with and process through trauma, it just gets transferred. And so the goal is for us to deal with our trauma, deal with what's happened with us, deal with what we've seen, deal with what we've experienced in a healthy, productive way, so that we can now live a life that's healthy and productive. Because when you're not living in a healthy and productive manner, then you're living the opposite. And you're taking a lot of people with you. Either you want to take them up or you're going to take them down. And even not making a decision to do either or is a decision to take people down, because you have the personal responsibility to go up. So let's kind of talk about the differences between a therapist, a counselor, and a coach. All three are necessary. All three are needed. But the title of a counselor and a therapist are the two that usually they're used interchangeably, but they're not necessarily the same, okay? But they do end up helping people in their mental state, in their mental capacity, and their ability to get through certain issues that are pressing or that's upon them in the moment. So a counselor is someone who focuses on specific issues, and they are designated to help a person address a particular problem. Hence, you have an addiction counselor, marriage counselor, stress counselor, so on and so forth. A lot of times it's what in our industry, we say short term, because short term could very well be, 3 months, but it could also be 3 years, okay? Whereas a counselor, a therapist is someone who may be dealing with a specific issue, but then also the other issues that are also correlated to the issue that you went in with, which can end up being, which is why you hear people say, oh, I have a therapist. I've been going to my therapist for 15 years. I've been going to my therapist for 10 years, stuff like that. The reason being is because they're not just dealing with one specific area of their life, they're dealing with many different areas of their life, right? And here's the thing, you may actually hear people say that they have had their same counselor for the past 10, 15 years, which is okay as well. You have to understand that sometimes some people end up going in for one thing, and then they realize, oh, I've also been affected in this area of my life. I've also been affected in that area of my life. I also need to work on this area, right? And that's a great thing, because the byproduct is healing. The byproduct is a whole life. The byproduct is, right, being healthy, being wealthy, being strong, being whole, and other people seeing you in that state and saying, wow, if she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it, right? So, and when you understand what the word counselor means, it just means an advisor, okay? So when you have a counselor, that's someone who's helping you, and advising you through the current situation that you find yourself in. Okay, whereas therapy focuses more so on broader issues and addresses the person's thinking as it relates to their behavior, and their behavior as it relates to how they deal with the world. Again, this could be a lot longer, and what we say long term, so decade, 15 years, so on and so forth. Okay, so then from therapy, you also have psychotherapy, different type of therapy, psychodynamic therapies, behavior therapy, all these different modes by which we help the person get through or to work through their past or whatever hiccups and hangups they find within their lives. And so as it pertains, so that's the difference, okay? Now, I also realize that people will say, I have a counselor, but what they really need is someone to help them with their mental disorder or the mental disruption that they're experiencing. Okay, that is a psychologist or a psychiatrist. A psychologist or a psychiatrist. A psychiatrist is the person that writes the prescription. A psychologist is the one that works through the different things. Okay, some psychiatrists do that as well, but usually the psychologist will connect you with a psychiatrist who can write the medication to help somebody. Now, I am an advocate of medication. I just like medication with a plan. If there's no plan, then I'm not here for it. Okay, so let me just be clear. I think medication is good when there's a plan in place. So sometimes some people need to take medication when they go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. They need to take medication so they can be stabilized in their emotions, stabilized in their mental state, stabilized in their ability to make rational, sound decisions. And then upon getting to that place, they can now get the treatment that they need to minimize the symptoms they're experiencing, which will thereby minimize the medication that they would need as well. So when there's a plan in place, medication can be good. When there's not a plan, or the person just wants to take medication because it's supposed to solve all their issues, then of course you're not going to get what you really need to get. Now, in terms of my certification program, this is what I gotta that I want to really make sure I'm getting across to you guys. When you are a certified counselor or a certified therapist, you are not getting your credentials from the state. You are getting your credentials from an external body, which would be my program. That's my body, not the government. When you are licensed, you are able to take insurance and you are able to deal with the state on that level. So you've taken their classes, you've gone through their criteria and their prerequisites so that you can call yourself LFMT and LPC and, you know, all of those titles. So you are licensed, and you are licensed by the state, which thereby allows you to accept insurance and do some other things. Certification is just a way in which you can tell people, I am trained. I am trained to do this. I have the experience to do this. I have the wherewithal, the gifting to do this and help you so that you can get the results that you desire. And that is why I did the certification course to begin with. So that if you decide that you don't want to do the licensure by the state, because you're going to be doing things a little bit differently than what the state would require, right? Or you're going to focus more on the spiritual aspect of a person and not just focusing only on the mental aspect of a person. So you're doing things a little bit differently from how the state, your designated state would want you to do it. Then certification is the best for you. Furthermore, if you decide to be a coach, guess what? Certification is the best for you. Why? Because certification is telling your potential client, hello, I've got the training. Hello, I have put in the work so that I can help you achieve the goals that you have for yourself. There's nothing better than someone who says, oh yeah, you know, I could do that. Okay, that's great, but where's your credentials? Where's your 10,000 hours, as Malcolm Gladwell would say? Where is your expertise and your experience in this? That's great that you say you can do something, but what's the proof? So your certification is the proof. Your certification is the training. Your certification is what allows you to say, you know what? I'm glad you called. Honey, I want to help you, but child, you got to book a session. That's what makes it makes the difference, okay? So understand that when I'm saying get certified, get certified, get certified, the certification is a whole entire program with the goal of training you, giving you exactly what you need, giving you the credentials, the experience, and the wherewithal, along with whatever you're already coming in with, okay? And then you're now hitting the ground running and you're doing the thing, right? That is the plus. That is the good thing. That is what people need, right? Now, when we're talking about the certification in regards to hello, people are coming on, but no one's saying hello. I'm not going to say hello unless you say hello first. So, hey, Sia. Hey, Angel. And you know what, Angel, I saw that you finished and completed your certification. So proud and excited. You're going to be entered into the group. If you haven't already been extended an invitation, you're going to be entered into the group where we keep going on it and keep expounding and everything. Yes. Hey, hey, hey. All right. So if you are, hi, Jamaica, how are you? See, now y'all saying, hey, hey. So let me stay focused, right? So if you are a coach, and a coach is somebody who may not have any type of experience whatsoever in psychology and social work and anything having to do with the brain and the mind and behavior and things of that nature. But, hear me and hear me well. A coach is somebody who has knowledge of how to do something. A coach is somebody who has knowledge on how to do something. So a lot of times I hear people say, oh, everybody's a coach. There's so many coaches out here and complaining. No, sweetie, you need to be happy there are a lot of coaches out here. You need to be happy that there's people out here trying to change and transform and metamorphose into something more beautiful and better than what they were before, okay? You need to be happy about that. That's a good thing. That is a good sign that people are working on themselves and they're not content with just staying as they are. So again, if you've been looking at my certification program and you're not a therapist and you know you're not a counselor and you don't have any expertise in that, that is fine. What you need is the certification for coaching, because the essence of coaching is to help a person change the way they are so they can get to where they're trying to go. A coach is someone who is supporting someone in learning or becoming who they want to be. A coach is someone who empowers and gives somebody the skills, the abilities, the insights, right? Sometimes some coaches like myself, you know, a lot of times I will, if I have someone and we're working on business and they're hitting a lot of different barriers and blocks and things like that, of course, I'm going to tap into my counseling mode and I'm going to say, okay, what's really going on? What's the root issue here? What belief are you holding on to? What experience are you holding on to that's hindering your ability to move forward in your business? Because let me say this, a lot of people like to separate your mental, your emotional state from business. No, sweetie. They are correlated. They come together. If you deal with fear, if you deal with anxiety, if you deal with depression, or if you have the fear of man, you can produce the best software in the world, the best products in the world, but because of your fear, because of your concern of other people's opinions about you, you will never put it out there and change the world. Let's put it this way. If somebody, you guys know the Snuggie, right? Somebody had enough gall and audacity to take a robe, turn it around, reconfigure it a little bit, and sell it and call it a Snuggie. How much confidence do you need to have to reconfigure a robe? I have 3 robes in my bathroom. Reconfigure a robe and sell it for $20 to $60, depending on where you get it, and call it a Snuggie and make millions. But guess what? A coach is going to be the one to say, hey, what's going on with your confidence? Why aren't you selling? Why aren't you promoting? Why aren't you marketing? What fear is holding you back? And a lot of times people are struggling with things they shouldn't be struggling with, when all they really need is a certified coach to see and recognize what they aren't recognizing within themselves. And that's why we need coaches. And so for you to get certified to be that coach is to say, I've done the work to be certified and to coach you in this particular area. And now it's time for you to do the work that you need to do so that you can, right? Yes, great question. I was about to ask Can you do both counseling and life coaching? Absolutely. The name of my business is Restoration Counseling and Coaching LLC. And so when I write it, I don't even know if I have a thing around, but and when I write it, I write RCS LLC. So the C stands for coaching and counseling, because I am a counselor, but I also know that some people don't necessarily need something that deals with their mental state or their marriage or what have you. They just need that coaching to get to from point A to point B. They just need someone to help them to strategize and put a system in place for what it is that they're trying to achieve, right? So yes, you can do both. And I found it easier, though, to focus on one thing. So for the past 3-4 years, I've really focused on counseling. But as of 2020, I'm really making a big shift into coaching, because I still do coaching on the side, but I focus primarily on counseling. But now I'm shifting over to coaching and really honing in on that. Of course, whoever works with me is going to have the wonderful benefit of having the gifting of counseling, so they still get that from me because that's just who I am. But I'm really transitioning over to coaching. So I hope that answers your question. And so I was saying that with your, so with your certification, you're telling them, I've done the work, now it's your turn, you do your work. Okay. And the thing about being a coach is you can be a coach in just about anything. You can, honestly, you could be a marriage coach. You could be a eating coach. When I say eating, but more like a dietary, going from, eating whatever to being a vegan or being a vegetarian, or coaching someone into a keto or organic lifestyle, coaching someone in credit repair or people in credit repair. You can coach people in overcoming anxiety or fear, right? You can coach people in business, in their branding and their marketing and their execution, going from brick and mortar to online. You can coach people in their lifestyle, right? Just them being able to hit certain goals or to get press and media and things of that nature. You can coach in just about anything, because remember, coaching is really just about change. It's just about change. How long is training to become a coach? The certification program is broken up into 6 modules. Okay, it's broken up into 6 modules. So I like to say take a week to master each module. Now, some people go through it faster than that because they are just honed in and glued in and they're trying to get the thing done. That's fine, no problem. But it is broken up into 6 modules. And then there's also, so it's 6 modules. And in the modules, you're going to be trained on how to either counsel or coach, whichever one you choose. Okay. Then you'll also get the infrastructure, having your proper foundation of setting your business and gaining clients. Okay, because we don't want you to get certified and not know what to do. I'm certified. Okay, where's your business? Oh, I don't have one. No, we do the whole thing with you, from certification to at least the foundationals of your business, so that you can start getting clients and being compensated for your gifting. Okay, and establishing your business the right way. So you can do it in, okay, so for you coaching, so you can do it in as long as 6 weeks, as little as a week, if you can go through all of the modules and work through them all. You have a test at the end of your certification program, and you have 3 tries to pass your test. And once you pass your test, you are officially certified. You receive your certification document in the mail, so you can frame it and put it on the wall. But even before then, you can start establishing yourself and implementing the things that we teach you in the program, so that way you can get your business started. All right. And you guys can keep putting the questions up. I definitely don't mind answering those for you. Okay, awesome. Yes, my hubby just posted it for you. You can go there to NAACCtraining.com, and I'll pin that so it'll be up, or you can use the pinned comment in the video and that will help you out. Okay. Let's see here. So I hope that brings some clarity and understanding to you. I have been getting some different questions. So usually they're the same questions that I always get. And so that's why I did a video that I did, I believe it was a week or two before. So I'll repost that so that you guys can see that and take a look at it. But also too, a lot of the questions usually end up being, thank you, ma'am. Awesome. Yes, you're welcome. So a lot of the questions end up being the same. Someone also asked me last night if they would have any issues with the government by being a certified counselor. And so again, let me clarify. You're not saying that you're licensed. Licensure is from your state, right? But certification is not. So as long as you're not out here saying that you're licensed and you're actually certified, you won't have any problems. Okay. Of course, you're going to have some licensed people who, they talk about their licensure and the things that they have to fulfill. That's not your requirement because you did a different process. The goal is still the same though. You're still helping people's lives. And that's what matters. That's what we're really looking at, okay? So just understand that. Let's be clear. Let's see here. And I want to say this as well, especially for a lot of people in our community. Please know that things are changing in our community so that you can really position yourself as a counselor, and people are starting to understand that there's not, there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually a good thing. That's something that we need. Someone sent me an article the other day and they were saying that I think it was a pastor who was saying that he just felt so far from God and he was just having a lot of emotional issues, which is not abnormal. That's a normal thing, but the problem is, yeah, he said he was tired. He feels so distant from God and confesses that he's tired and announces a sabbatical. He's a popular pastor in the DC area. But one of the things that can really offset some of these jobs that require so much is having counselors, having people who are trained, who will hear you out, listen to you, give you wise counsel, and also help you come to wise counsel as well. I believe it was Mike Todd, someday on, I think it's on his social media, he showed a small clip of he and his wife doing marriage counseling, and I thought it was just so powerful. I think I'll go back and just repost it because a lot of times in certain communities there is that stigma of counseling and taking a break and therapy and things of that nature, and there should be no stigma. This life is hard, honey. Anybody who tells you that it's not is lying through their teeth. This life requires strength. It requires other people to build you up, to encourage you. It requires help in the time of need. It requires you being able to confess your sins, share your heart, get stuff off of your chest, and not worry about anybody judging you, not worry about anybody running and telling that and gossiping and stuff like that. That phrase, What goes on in this house stays in this house. Don't air your dirty laundry to nobody. That thing is killing people. And I'm talking about mentally killing people, mentally killing our children, killing our families, because you have people walking around with so much hurt, so much pain, anxiety, depression, and they have nobody to talk to. They don't know who to turn to. And so they end up saying, you know what, it would be better for me to check out of this life than to stay in this life. And it's wrong. The fact that God gave us the roles of therapists and counselors and coaches and psychotherapists, right? If there's a mental issue in there anywhere, is proof, and it shows that God is concerned with the whole man. Stop over spiritualizing it, and then stop just downplaying it altogether, and find that balance. Find the healthy balance, because people need help. People need somebody to talk to. People need somebody to be able to reach out to and say, hey, I don't know who else to share this with but you. And I know you're not going to go and start telling people. And I know when I see you, you're not going to treat me like I have leprosy or the bubonic plague. You're going to still embrace me. You're going to still love me. You're still going to care for me. And that is exactly what people need. As a counselor, for my God, if I tell you the type of stories that I've heard of what women have gone through, of what men have gone through, and men are the main ones who have to sit here and not cry and suck it up and be a man and this, that, and all this other nonsense. And then you wonder why men can't connect. Men have vulnerability issues, and they're just supposed to take it like a champ. That is a bunch of nonsense. It is nonsense. As I even sit here and talk about it, it just makes me well up in my eyes, because it makes no sense why we should have to do this life by ourselves and do this life without the help that even God himself knew that we needed. Hello. Do you think that creativity came out of man to help men, when you have how many generations and centuries of men hurting men, demoralizing other men? The way humanity has done humanity wrong, you know that was not a human idea. That was a God idea dropped into the heart of a man who said, you know what, let's take this word called advisor and turn it into counselor. Even the Bible says that the Holy Spirit will be your counselor. If the Bible said you need a counselor, my God. And for some people, they're not even there yet to embrace Holy Spirit. So what do you need? You need a physical being, a physical person that can operate the same way that Holy Spirit would operate if they were to receive him. And this is where we get counselor from. And this is where we get therapists from. And then we have coaches. And coaches are necessary. Baby, I want you to go to the grocery store today. Go down the bread aisle and tell me how many different bread. There's white bread. There's organic bread. There's gluten-free bread. There's wheat bread. There's honey wheat bread. There's bread with the little sprinkles on it with the 5-grain bread. There's black bread. There's all kinds of bread. And people are going to sit there and complain that there's a lot of coaches. Child, that's because you're supposed to be a coach, but you won't sit down and go get yourself certified. That's why you're talking like that. Because when you know that there's various variations of different things, then you'll stop talking about it and be about it yourself. How about that? You go and get yourself trained, get yourself certified, put yourself in position to help other people, and stop complaining that people are out here getting helped. Stop listening to these people who sit there and say, oh, well, worse things have happened. But guess what? This thing that happened to me is hurting me. It's affecting me. And I need to talk about it. How scary is it that we have people, humans, walking around with pent-up frustrations? They're just they're like a Coke can being shook up. And any little thing, touch, and they're about to blow. When all we have to do is give them the help that they need through a counselor, through a coach, through a therapist. Hello! Problem solved. Problem solved. problem solve. This is a necessary role that people are not picking up and doing. Now, let me tell you, okay, somebody said I'm doing this in 2020. Let me tell you, if you're going to use my certification program, the pricing that we currently have right now is not going to last. It is not going to be that cheap next year. It cannot be. It cannot be. Because the way I have priced this thing for the past couple of years has been way below market, way below market. And then in 2020, we're going to be redoing the modules. We're going to be upgrading the training. And that means we got to upgrade the pricing too. So, but the value is worth it. I think Angela was on here and she was telling you guys that the certification program is so awesome. It is. It's even more awesome than it's priced at. But that's because I know that there are a lot of people who just need that easy entryway. And that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years. I've been giving that easy entryway so that we can get into it. But now I can't keep doing that. I can't. I have to up the ante. I have to up the sticker price. But just know that too, the sticker price and the value are not going to be the same. The value is going to be up here and the sticker price is going to be here. Even when we increase it, it's still going to be like this. This is the sticker price and this is the value.